So in this video, I am going to show you how to convert a 4-foot fluorescent fixture to LED, and specifically an LED that is designed to operate with basically hot on one end of the fixture and neutral on the other end of the fixture. This is a more common LED light these days, so that's what I'm going to show you. So here's your fixture. You've got the ballast, and you know, you're going to find all sorts of different configurations. But if it's a T8 fixture or T12, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting hot or black. I don't want to say black because sometimes if it's 277 volts, it's going to be an orange wire or even red. But we're going to put hot to one end of the fixture, feeding the lamp holders, the tombstones on one end of the fixture, and then we're going to put neutral on the other end of the fixture. And what you're going to find in most T8 fixtures is these are all jumpered together on one end, and these on the other end are not jumpered together. So I'm going to leave you the option of leaving the ballast inside of the fixture. A lot of times that's the easiest thing to do. For this video, I am going to remove the ballast just for expediency. And so typically take your screw out. Now, you know, in most cases, you're going to have to cut the ballast out of the fixture, and that's what I'm going to do here in a minute. Which, you know, this is actually a new fixture, but it's not going to change the way the wiring is going to go. You're going to have two wires coming into your fixture. Actually, you're going to have three. You're going to have a ground, you're going to have a black and a white in a residential application, or even in a light commercial application. You might have a green, a white, and an orange in another application. So go ahead and cut your wires. I typically leave some extra wire for the in case you ever want to use the ballast again, but that's up to you. So there, I've cut the ballast out. Now I've got two wires hanging here. And what I'm going to do with these two wires, if I left enough, which this particular fixture is pretty short, so I'm going to have to use some butt splices to extend the wires a little bit. So that's, I'm going to end up hooking up hot on this end of the fixture. And then I'm going to hook up neutral on this end of the fixture. I may have enough to be able to put them together though. If I have enough, I'd prefer just to use a wire nut. Yep, I got enough there. So go ahead and strip your wires, and these are going to be a smaller gauge than the wire coming into the fixture in most cases, because the wire coming into the fixture is typically 14 gauge or larger, and the wire inside of an existing fixture at the tombstones is typically 16 gauge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use hot at this end of the fixture. Hot is typically represented by black. And so I'm going to take a black wire that I've got already pre-stripped, and I'm going to put these all up under one wire nut, provided I have the length here to do so. And if not, it's not a big deal. I can extend these, you know, each if I choose. Which I didn't want to, but I think I'm going to have to, just because these are short. You're going to find that you're going to have probably mega amounts of extra wire when you have an existing fixture. Most of the old fixtures had a lot of extra wires. As fixtures became newer, of course, what's the first thing that they did get rid of, because it costs money, is wire. So there's almost typically no extra wire in these fixtures. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go get some, see if I can get this wire nut on here. And again, like I said, there's no extra wire, so this may be a challenge. I'm going to go get some butt splices, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got some butt splices, and this will just allow me to effectively lengthen these wires that are already here. And we'll just lengthen them just by a little bit, just so I can get a wire nut up under there to to extend these safely you know, the big thing here is you don't want to, you don't want any exposed wires, of course. So you can see I'm just extending that wire. We'll do the same with this one. You can get butt splices at, you know, wherever. Your favorite hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, what have you. Either one of them. So now they're extended. Now I can actually take my hot wire, put these under a wire nut. Now you're probably not going to have to do that extension because you should have more than enough. It's better to cut the wires as long as possible rather than cutting them short. So you got some extra wire. There's more than enough room in here once you remove the ballast for some extra wire. So there's no harm in leaving some extra wire in here. Okay, so now I've got hot to this end of the fixture. Okay, so this end is hot. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the neutral end of the fixture, which is right here. And undoubtedly I'm going to have to use the butt splice to do the same thing here because these are fairly short as well. I think just for the sake of doing it, that's probably what I'm going to have to do because I don't think these are going to be very long either. And so we'll just we'll put a butt splice in there and be done with it. All right, so I got those finally stripped. They were a little challenging. So get these butt splices crimped on this end. I always test them to make sure they're in there good. Okay, and those are in there. So now I'm going to take my neutral white wire, put all three of these up under here. Now if you have a 4-lamp fixture, you're going to do the same. You're going to put all of these wires up there, but however you're going to notice that there might be one wire that you can feed to all the rest. The key is that every one of these tombstones has to have a connection on this end of the fixture to the neutral, and every one of the tombstones on that end of the fixture has to have a connection to hot. So now I have neutral, a white wire connected to this end of the fixture, and I've got hot connected to that end of the fixture. So when your wires that are coming through the conduit hole, you're going to go ahead and connect. So I got a little extension cord here. It's not an extension cord, it's kind of homemade. But I'm going to go ahead and connect my neutral to the neutral, to the white to white, right? And I'll go ahead and put the hot. Now in many cases you won't have like for instance the bulbs are facing the same direction here as my as the inner part of the tray. In most cases these tombstones are on the opposite side facing downward and you're working inside of the fixture. But for illustration, this is still going to show you how to wire this fixture. And so now I have a fixture that's already wired. I'll plug it in. No sparks, that's a good thing. I'm kidding, of course. Shouldn't have any sparks. And then I'll take my LED bulb and I'm going to put it in the fixture, and there you go. So now you've got a fixture that is lit. And so what you might want to do while you're wiring these is you might want to test both tombstones just to be sure. And they both work. There again. The light is on, and it doesn't matter whether you turn the tube around or not. The fixtures are supposed to have line on one end and neutral on the other, but it doesn't matter which direction they're facing. Either way you face the bulb, once you put neutral on one end and hot on the other, it's not going to matter which way the bulb is facing. If you've got it wired properly, the fixture will work. And that is how you convert an LED or a fluorescent fixture to an LED bulb with a double-ended bulb, meaning hot on one end, neutral on the other.